So this tree was thoughtfully donated to us by our dear friends Josephine and John. I believe it is a 6 footer. Not quite my dream tree. My dream Christmas tree is where I can fit all the ornaments and lights that I want on it. You know, the kind that you need a ladder to to decorate, but that's okay. This is an artificial tree. It has a lot of space, and I've seen artificial trees that are really crappy where you could see like the metal and the vinyl tape where the branches are attached to the base, and it looked really, really fake and bad. Today, I thought that I would do something special and give you guys a tour of our Christmas tree. As you can see, this tree has a crap ton of ornaments and lights on it. And everything that is on this tree has some kind of story behind it. And there are ornaments on this tree that are as old as I am. Let's start by plugging it in. One thing that I will say that I don't like about this tree is the fact that it is pre-lit. And there was at least one strand that was already out by the time that we got it. Now, I'm not faulting our friends for that. Obviously, they didn't have to give us a tree at all. It was very kind of them. But having said that, I do prefer trees that are just bare because I like to decorate them as I see fit. And also, unfortunately, the pre-lit strands, they're not those kinds of lights where if one bulb goes out, you can just swap it for a fresh one. No. If one bulb goes out, the whole strand goes out. You've lost the whole strand. And you cannot remove them because they're all attached together. And there are also other strands of other lights that are plugged into the pre-lit strands. Let's get started on the tour. So this gargantuan here, I should stress that when we first got this tree, we started out with 0 ornaments. The year that I moved in with my wife here, our first Christmas together, we decided to go to Macy's, and we pretty much just bought anything, anything that we could get our hands on that looked decent that we could fill this tree up with. Because if we had not done this, we would have been left with our landlady's donated ornaments, which are old and really, really ugly. I probably would not buy something like this again. I have a lot of ridiculously large ornaments on this tree. There's another one. I bought it because it looks like a rupee from Zelda, but it's so freaking big, and I wish I hadn't bought it. But here it is. Yeah, this stag here. This is another Macy's ornament. I've seen this stag all over Macy's during Christmas time. I don't know if it's like their unofficial mascot or what, but it is pretty. Rudolph! There you are. Yeah, where's your nose? There we go. I do not know where this came from, honestly. I don't recall buying it myself, so I guess my wife must have bought it at some point when I wasn't looking. It's glass, though, so we are going to be very careful not to drop that. My dad used to scream at me when I would drop an ornament as a kid. 3 Cados, climbing Christmas tree. This definitely looks like something my wife would buy, but I can't recall my buying it. Champagne glass, or wine glass rather. I think we bought this either at Macy's or Bryant Park. I'm pretty sure it's sold at both, but I'm sure that it's sold at Macy's for about half the price. Generic globe ornament. I don't recall where we got this. This pine cone thing, I believe, came from my parents' house. I should mention that for our first Christmas, when I informed my mom that we, had very few ornaments, when I was still living at home, we had a glut of ornaments. We never had enough space to put all of them on because talking about decades and decades and decades worth of ornament collecting. So my parents parted ways with some of the ones that, they hadn't put on in a long time or didn't care for, and this is one of those. So is this one. Again, glass, so we're going to be very careful not to drop these. Here we have another one of the Etsy pop culture themed ornaments. The Zelda Hylian Shield. The dog, Neo's ornament. This is the first ornament that I purchased for my wife. And I bought this off Etsy, and I almost gave up on this one. It took a really long, I think it took like almost a month to get to us. And this was not the only ornament that I purchased from Etsy that was delayed. I think there was actually a couple that even arrived after Christmas. and has this obscenely long strand. You could almost wear it around your neck. I bought this for my wife because she used to work at Citi Field and Shea Stadium. This is also an ornament from home. My dad has a thing for birds. I'm really surprised that my parents decided to give this one away. Oh, poor Santa. You deserve better. So this is also a Christmas staple of my childhood. Unfortunately, as some of you may have seen in one of my previous videos, Maggie got to him and he could use a replacement beard. This is another Macy's ornament. It looks like a maple leaf starfish. Again, I don't know what I was thinking with some of these. I think this is one of our landlady's ornaments. Merry Christmas, another landlady ornament. This, if you couldn't tell, is something that my wife created. I don't know if she created it on Shutterfly or customized it on Amazon. Our dog and cat, Neo Maggie. This house here. Right, so I believe this is also Macy's creation, and it has, I believe, 3 other siblings. Also, it's battery operated. These houses, they use like one of those little watch batteries. I've been keeping them off. I intend to only turn these houses on for Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, because otherwise they're going to drain real fast, and it's not so easy to come across the batteries that run these kinds of ornaments. This golden ornament here with the tinsel inside of it, this comes from my parents' house as well. This is a donation. This is also very, very old, and I believe that there are several siblings that it has. Take a wild guess where we got this from. Yep, our Maui vacation at the gift shop, one of many. This is also a new arrival. This is a snow owl that I purchased at Bryant Park in commemoration of a screech owl that used to perch itself on top of our pear tree at my parents' house at night. What I didn't realize is that he has a twin. Actually, I believe this is the one that I purchased at Bryant Park. The other one was pre-existing, I believe, from my parents. Jingle bells. Yeah, these did not come with strings or hooks attached. Maggie likes to play with them. I think I bought these at Raindew. This one, I think, was a landlady ornament. This one, I don't know what the hell is, some kind of jewel-encrusted dinosaur. This was from Macy's, believe it or not. And again, this was purchased in 2020 when we started out with nothing. So, yeah, it shows. Here is a mobile home and a donated ornament from our friends Josephine and John. They were getting rid of it because it has a hole in the bottom, just like a real trailer. 2020, the year of the fox, which looks like Neo. This is a very interesting one. This is a Canadian Mountie that was purchased by my aunt and uncle, who aren't really my aunt and uncle, but I call them my aunt and uncle, when they went to Canada in the early 90s. He is very heavy. Well, in the past, when we had real trees, he had to be placed on a pretty strong branch. Also, he does a little dance. Yeah. There's another one of these golden tinsel bowls. This is another gargantuan ornament that was purchased at Macy's, and this one always seems to end up in the exact same place every year because it's so big and it's so heavy. It always ends up on the bottom. I think this was Bryant Park. I think it's self-explanatory why I purchased this one, because, you know, New York represent. This one, I think also Bryant Park. This one, this is an old one. This comes from my parents' house. And this ornament, you can see there's a toy truck and a boat and a plane and a rocking horse and a bird. This ornament is about as old as I am. Well, it's plastic, but we want to make sure nothing happens to it. Don't know. This, I believe, is also from Macy's. This oil lamp, which it looks like it should light up, but I don't believe it actually does. Or does it? No, I don't think so. JP. So, again, purchased in 2020 from Etsy. I bought these in a set with other TV show, movie themed ornaments, and I think if I could go back, I probably would not have purchased these because they're kind of tacky and stupid. Here's a Game of Thrones House Stark one. Disco ball. Okay, so we got St. Nicholas. This is also an old one from my parents' house. Very, very old. I'm surprised that they parted with it. I have never seen this ornament before. I have no idea where this came from. I think my wife just buys new ornaments in secret without telling me or forgets to tell me. Another Macy's ornament. Macy's has a lot of really weird ornaments, at least in the Herald Square location. Like, I don't know, Christmas jellyfish. It just looks so weird that I had to have it. This is, I believe, another landlady ornament. Santa in a hammock, and this is actually one of her nicer ornaments. Most of them are pretty generic and ugly, but this one is okay. Santa taking a well-deserved break. Candy cane. Bar Harbor, 2007. I've been to Bar Harbor, but I have not ventured there in 2007. This is another landlady ornament, and frankly, I feel weird for even having it on the street because it is in dedication to a vacation that we never went on. I think this is also a landlady ornament. Hershey's chocolate, yes. Bells. I think this is also from my parents. Nutcracker. Of course, you gotta have a nutcracker in your tree. This ornament nearly drove my wife mad. We purchased it, had it custom made when we went to Boston during the summer. We brought it home, and she swore that she put it in the laundry room, and neither of us could find it for weeks. And she was unnaturally upset about it. My wife doesn't get bent out of shape over too many things because she's much stronger than I am. But she was very upset that she could not find this because obviously it's very special. But she was digging through the closet the other day, and she did manage to find it, safe and sound. With some other stuff, and she was very happy, and I was very happy because this is the day that we got married. Gamer represent. Where did I get this? I'm gonna say probably not Amazon. I would say either Etsy or Bryant Park as well. I am a gamer, so. Macy's. Another big fat ornament that doesn't make a whole lot of sense, that is really just taking up space, but at least this one is semi-nice to look at. This is a landlady ornament, the snowman. Here we go. This is a Lenox Christmas Kermit that I purchased at Raindew. This is one of the most expensive ornaments on here, and I bought it because I have fond memories of watching a very obscure Jim Henson TV movie called The Christmas Toy. It came out maybe when I was 2 years old, and I taped it on VHS. That tape is long gone. It was a Muppet creation, and it had an introduction that featured Kermit dressed as Santa, which was completely cut out of the DVD and Blu-ray versions because of licensing issues when it comes to Kermit. So I actually went through the trouble several years ago of buying the VHS version of that movie that still has the Kermit intro and outro, in hopes that someday I'd be able to put it on a disc or a flash drive. That has not happened, but I have fond memories of watching that movie when I was a little boy. I have always loved the Muppets, so this ornament is special to me. This is also purchased at Macy's, I believe. This also highly resembles a bunch of lights that we bought in 2020 that I think we were going to hang outside. They were shaped like snowflakes, and somehow I accidentally unraveled them all and basically destroyed them. And I bought these at Garden World. Thankfully, they took them back. I got my money back. Yeah, never again. This is from home. This is like velvet. It's very soft. The Unbreakable. Wife's culture represent. I think that's a dog or a fox. My wife is actually second generation American, but she is very mindful of where she came from nonetheless. There's another one of these pop culture ornaments that I purchased as part of a set on Etsy. And I am not sure currently what TV show, movie, or video game property this represents. I need to look it up later. Where are my Zelda fans at? I think you recognize this. Majora's Mask. This is a landlady ornament. It's like a little pillow. Charming. Yeah, we have some little ones here. These, I'm pretty sure these are all landlady. This one is a Macy's ornament, though, that I purchased. Another oversized ornament that I stupidly bought out of impulse. Another wine glass. Bryant Park, I'm pretty sure Macy's. Ship. That's Macy's. These candles here. There's a set of them, and I've put them all around the upper part of the tree. These came from my parents. They do not light up, and they, as you can see, they clip onto the branches as opposed to hang. 2020. I believe I purchased this on Amazon as special significance. I celebrated my first Christmas with my wife shortly before I moved in with her. What a exciting, terrifying time that was. Fabergé egg. My wife purchased at Bryant Park because it's red. I believe a boba tea. I don't know if I bought this for my wife, who likes boba tea a lot, or if she bought it for herself, but I'm pretty sure this is also Bryant Park or Macy's. Here we go. This Donald Duck Christmas ornament is also very old. It's made out of wood, and it is possibly even older than I am. I remember this being on our Christmas tree when I was like 2 years old, and now it belongs to me. This is another new ornament I purchased at another Macy's, not the Herald Square one, this year. Again, you know, it was just one of those impulse buys. We actually went ornament shopping a little too early this year. They really didn't have too much holiday stuff up. In the past, I've made it my business to buy like one or two new ornaments every year because, you know, some of them, they break, they get old, or you get tired of them. And finally, we have our star. It's a rather sad star. So, as you can tell, we have a very low ceiling, and I actually obtained a star that we used to hang on the tree at my parents' house, but unfortunately it is too big. We have it hanging in our landlady's living room window now. I would love to have gotten a star that lit up, but unfortunately, to find a star this small, it's literally touching the ceiling here. I think it's about 4 inches. Yeah, they do not make, or I have not been able to find, Christmas stars of this size that light up. But hopefully, when we move, we'll be able to rectify that. And now, let's look at the lights. So, here we have your generic color LEDs. Some of them came with the Christmas tree itself, and some of them we purchased separately. Everybody has these. They do not get hot like the old incandescent lights, so you don't have to worry about your tree catching fire, which is something that my mother lived in perpetual fear of every Christmas, which is why every time we went out, she made it her business to turn the tree off in case it started a fire. Unfortunately, we've been losing about a strand of these every year. These lights were obtained 2 years ago. These are ornament lights. Found these on Amazon. They're pretty unique. You don't see too many lights like these, and you know, I just thought they were neat. Then you have these like coconut looking lights. I bought these, well, they're kind of on the heavy side. They're unwieldy, they get tangled easily, and some of the colors are brighter than others. I bought these because I guess you could say it's a little silly. I wanted to recreate my childhood Christmas tree as much as I can, and my childhood Christmas tree contained these kinds of lights, so I decided to get them. Bubble lights. So, my childhood tree had two sets of bubble lights. The first set, the lights were about half of the size as these ones. They just stopped working one day after I think we had them maybe like 10 years. And then we got these ones. Bubble lights are not so easy to come by these days. And I think the reasons are obvious because a lot of times they just don't work. You can put them any which way you want, you can tap them, whatever, and they just don't bubble. I don't think that I have seen in quite some time an instance in which all of these bubble lights actually bubbled at the same time. And the sets don't come with too many. I think there's only like 8 on this strand. So a little disappointing. But I don't think too many people have these kinds of lights on their tree anymore. So it's probably no wonder why they're so hard to get. So these are almost like menorah lights. You know, you got the artificial flickering here. These were on my childhood tree for a very, very, very long time until eventually I think the whole strand went out. So that's why I decided to get them. These are exactly the same ones that I had on my tree all those decades ago. Finally, we have these fairy lights. So these are the only lights that flash on this tree, which is a shame because I actually prefer lights that flash because they're not on as long, which means that they last longer. And I actually bought 2 sets of flashing lights last year after Christmas. And I stupidly forgot to put them on the tree. So they're still in the laundry room. And yeah. Also, you can actually change the pattern in which these things flash. If I can find the box that controls the flashing, and I'm too lazy to look for it right now. But you can make them so that they're all static. You can make them so that they fade in and out. You can just control, there's like a dozen different ways that you can make these fairy lights light up. I really like them. I also have a smaller set that's battery operated, not on this tree. I think that I was originally going to put them on my desk tree, and I never did. And that is going to about do it. So here are our presents. I only have 1 or 2 left to wrap. I finally finished my shopping yesterday. Don't know what we're going to do for Christmas Day this year. Last year, my wife and I had COVID. Let's hope that history doesn't repeat itself. Until next time, you guys take care of yourselves. Happy holidays.